wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. A wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Ooh, welcome to the Commander Smiths.
We are the Commander Smiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
This is episode 324, and we have a special one. We're going back to an oldie but a goodie, and I kind of made a little button for this, just really quick. It's not long, but I wonder if you can. I hope you can hear it. Ready? Can't hear it? Damn it! It was He-Man doing "I Have the Power," so that was. The MP3ers or the YouTubers will be able to hear it, but Lowry unfortunately can't. What are we doing, Lowry? We're hitting back a topic.
Sorry.
That is a kind of a controversial one in the aspects that last time we did this, somebody must not be named 2 dimes and a nickel went ahead and stole it. The idea without credit or anything 4 days later and posted it. So what are we doing? What is this? Because he's probably going to do it now because he does listen.
I'm just hoping that he makes another video on it.
He's going to do it now. So guys, keep an eye out for that. So yeah.
So we're going to do Power 9. Mm-hmm. A new updated version. Is this our second time doing it only?
Yes,
or is it our third? Okay.
No, second time doing Power 9 for Commander. We got to be clear on that.
For Commander. So our first one, we made a joke about it being 69. So we did 6 reserve list cards and 9 non. And this time we're just going straight 9 reserve list, everything included. It was kind of hard.
Yeah, this one was difficult to figure out how to get this down. There's different. A lot. Yeah, it is different than our especially since we didn't do the reserve list part where we are combining it all together, and we just went with one solid Power 9 list. So,
right.
And really quick, for those people that don't know what Power 9 is, do you want to explain what the Power 9 is? That the original, like where it comes from?
Originally, they are basically the 9 most powerful cards that are basically in Magic, and I don't remember all of them offhand, and I didn't realize you're going to put me on the spot.
Just the Moxes, the Black Lotus.
The 5 Moxes, Black Lotus, Time Twister, Ancestral Vision. That's 7.
But
7, 8. That's 8. I'm missing one. I don't remember.
The main point behind that is that there's only one card that can be used in Commander. All those other ones are. That was the reason why we started it in the first place. We're like, hey, what's the Power 9? What would it be for Commander? And this is just our list. It isn't going to be necessarily the list that everybody has to go by, but the
first one we did was much more our Power 9.
Yeah.
This one, y'all were much more considered.
Yeah.
And it really, the thought behind it, and I think what kind of kicked it off or like set it in stone was when the card comes down, you basically have either people going, oh, this is the game we're playing, or like it has that aura of, oh shit.
Yeah.
Or when you're striving to get it, you're like, this is going to be awesome when I have this card.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And there's accomplishment when you get this card. And there's plenty of these I got the feels when I got them for the first.
Good for you.
And there are some other cards out there that are like that. That don't hit this, that didn't make our list, but really, the other aspect that we were thinking about is like, has there been conversation about banning it?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because generally that means it's a really, really, really good card, and a lot of people are playing it, and that kind of means it kind of puts it in that iconic status. So again, we took into consideration the community much more than the original Power 9, and I think we'll go over both lists, but
Those
do we
ancestral
Time
recall.
Walk, Time Twister? So I forgot Time Walk.
Oh,
there we go. The
there
extra turn one. Thank you, Renshai.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Did we want to just get into it?
Let's just get into it. I mean, that's what we're kind of doing. We're I mean,
so that's
we are
parameters that we're going with.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Stump the Smith Savant today, though, as well, just so you guys get that. We're going to do our mid.
Good, I'm drinking.
Yeah, there we go. Ooh, he's going to get his. And this week it's Ted. Hopefully, Ted, you can stay up. He's on right now to get to Stump the Smith Savant. So we'll get to that in a little bit. That'll be our break. After we get done with the Power 9, we'll kind of do our little tags. We have a lot of announcements that are coming, especially for patrons.
All right.
I guess let me say this before we get started, because if people tune out after this, I kind of want people that are new or our listeners but don't know about Patreon. For us, we're changing things with Patreon. So for those people that are already patrons, this is already a bonus for you guys. You guys have already been, supporting us for a while. But people that want to join, we are going to start doing a new thing where we're going to be giving away 6 collector booster packs each month. And so it depends on your level. Like for $5, or where do we start it? It's $5, $10. For each level, we're going to give away a certain amount. So like $20 or more, we're going to be drawing 3 packs each month. So every month. So there's a potential that you're getting your membership for free in a way, because you could win a pack and then the packs are already over, the minimum, they're 25. So that's a new thing that we're going to start. We'll get more into details with that. So that's just one thing I wanted to point out when we're in the main segment. So anyways, let's get to Power 9. Let's see here. We need to do this.
And I'll say what I'm, go
ahead.
What I'm drinking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm drinking a Maple Jacket barley wine aged with maple syrup. It's brewed in Chicago.
Ooh.
It is their Deep Wood series.
Yeah.
And so, but it's 14.5%.
Oh man.
it's just a normal size can now, but it's pretty tasty. I'm not normally a barley wine guy, but the maple is
the
pretty
maple,
good.
You got
boozy.
Me. That sounds really good.
It's boozy, but not too boozy.
I'm hooked on your Waconia. Your local. I went and bought more of them this weekend. I was like, well, screw that.
Wow. Is that replacing like lupulin for you?
No,
because you were into that for a while.
I was getting what is it?
Don't deny it.
Is it KDB? What is that one that?
KBS.
KBS. Thank you. And it was 3 letters. That's the one I was drinking for a while. The breakfast stout. So this one,
breakfast stout is good.
I just like this one. And I'm not a big peanut butter chocolate fan, but this one tastes good. So
I guess I'm gonna have to try it again.
Yeah,
it's good. I remember it, but.
You're fancy with your drinking. Ooh.
No, this was a gift for my birthday from Shay. Next week I got another one too. I should probably just mention.
We're getting you
I'll
back
drink this one too.
We're getting you back on the having beers on the cast.
Well, my birthday, I got like a fridge and a half full. Like so I gotta start working through it a little bit. But and this one is if you can't be good, be bald, and it has the Road Warriors from wrestling on it.
Nice.
It's fucking sweet.
That's the thing, man. If the cans
that's a double IPA,
cool pictures and stuff on it, you got me.
Yeah.
That's why Lupulin gets me, because their cans are fucking cool as shit. So that's why I always buy them.
Yeah, that's art is really cool.
All right, so we're getting to Power 9. I might as well hit the button. I made it really cool. You won't be able to hear it, but I wish you could hear that one, Larry. You're missing out.
Wowie.
Just know that it's good. Okay, so in no particular order, we're just going to go through the 9. So, Lowry, I started last week with whatever we were doing. So why don't you start us off this week? Pick one off of our list that you want to talk about. And really quick, guys, we will talk about our old list at the end. We're going to actually bring that up to tell you, to show what we had on it, what's different and all that stuff. So, started at number 9, not necessarily in order, just what we're going to talk about. So what is number 9?
I'm going to go with probably in my opinion, the weakest one, but the first one that made me go, oh shit, I'm gonna get this. Force of Will.
There we go. All right.
And so it's
Will.
essentially exile a blue card from your hand, pay a life, counter target spell. This card is iconic and like it's been around forever.
I just have to
kind of notice that a lot of these are older cards.
I have to pull up the original one because this one just has that iconic feel to it.
And I think they have the old art where it's like Wolverine with his claws out, and like there's some really cool alters on this thing, but it is iconic. It was expensive forever.
It still is expensive, but not as expensive as it was.
Still.
But you had this forever. And like for me, like this was like when I got this card, I made sure to get like one of the best versions. I got the which one is it? It is from Commander Legends, right? I got this little gal right here, except not in that one.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Which I thought it was Commander Legends, right? Oh no, it's Double Masters.
Double Masters, yeah.
So I got that version, but it was just like I had to have it, and I haven't put it in a deck. But like when I got it, it felt
we don't.
Like
we don't do counterspells. So.
Yeah, we don't play counterspells, so it's not in a single one of my decks.
But when the opportunity came up for you, you're like, I want to get this.
I have to have it for the collection.
And it has that feel of like, oh shit. And when I got it, it was one of the few $100 cards, and I found it in a shop in Lincoln, Nebraska for $20.
Oh,
it was
good.
That was beat to shit. It was beat to shit. Right now, number 2 has that version of it, and so like I gave him it on loan for a bit, but you need to get it back to me, I believe. But
he's like new number. Who
but
dis?
like when I saw it for $20, I was like, I don't care how beat the shit this is, I'm getting it for $20. Like this is nuts.
And you had the OG one.
Probably,
you had multiples of the OG one.
Yeah. Well, I just had that, and then once it was reprinted in Eternal Masters, it kind of got cut in half, and that's when I was trading, and so I was able to like aggressively go for the older ones because they drop more.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 given to me from a collection, and so that's. I just keep on collecting this version, I guess, but it's still like in my head, like I wanted this I try and not want cards, but this was the first one for me where I was like, holy shit, I actually got this.
Yeah. And when you see somebody play this, it also triggers that same feeling of like, oh shit, this guy or gal cares about their collection, and like they're playing with expensive stuff. Like they're not just playing a counterspell. They're playing the counterspell.
That's a good way of putting it.
So yeah, that is not number 9, but it's the first one on our list out of the Power 9. All right, the next on the list, I'm going to do a kind of similar thing in the same feels. I'm just going to do the dual lands as one.
Totally fair. That is a whole combination out of the 10 that we're just saying the dual lands are part of it.
Yeah.
You gotta go old school art too, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to. I'm going to the one that I have, the revised one. So I don't want to go beta with all that stuff because that's crazy. But yeah, the dual lands, I mean, this more so for us and all that. This is just having these dual lands. It makes your mana base work. Like, and that's what we've been saying is like, if you can, we like fetches and all that fetching to get this stuff, but the dual lands are the best untapped lands that are out there.
Right.
We did have that but that discussion a month or 2 ago about the best fetchable lands. This still was number 1 for us, and there is an accomplishment of getting these 10. I mean, that's why we do,
especially all 10, but just one of them,
right? And
it's so fucking cool to just start getting. It's almost addicting.
Right.
Like once you get 1 or 2, you're like, I kind of want more. And but then you got, like they're expensive, they're hard to find.
In the Discord, people post it when they get their one. They're like, I got the first one, or this is my 4th one. Like, and everybody like that. These are the big guys. Like these are the ones.
That's where like the best use of the GIF of like the kid at a hockey game going,
yeah, exactly.
You're just like, yes, that's exactly how I feel that for you. It's so.
A red squirrel.
Awesome.
They don't surveil or anything. Yes, I mean they're up there, but man, the dual lands, and this is the same thing. Your kind of story about getting Force of Will at $20. I got this. This was the last piece. I got Underground C for, I believe it was 20 or 30 bucks. And shortly thereafter is when the prices just went through the roof. And so I was like, oh shit, I'm glad I got the last one at that price. I mean, you were picking these up back in the day. You could get these for like 10, 20 bucks easily. And now that because of Commander, I feel like is the big reason why these suckers are so expensive. But having them in your deck, they're in every single one of my decks. There isn't a single deck that does not have a dual land unless I'm playing monocolored. Like,
I also don't feel bad playing them, but I have had it a handful of times where I'm playing new people and we use the proxies and they're like, oh, we're doing this kind of game. And you're like, yeah.
I think that should be like the quote that goes in with this is like, Power 9 for Commander. Oh, we're playing this kind of game? Like, because that's what a lot of fucking
game.
A lot of these are. Not all of them, but there's a lot of them that do that. So
and my biggest one for this, because really a lot of mine came from COVID. And so like that's when I started doing Card Kingdom credit, and I got really aggressive and I was like, I'm going to get the duels. And then right after that part, like it was the COVID spike when it came to Magic cards and reserve lists and stuff like that. I got really lucky.
You got some on dollar to duels kind of thing too, didn't you, with the trading and all that?
I was just paying attention to that one that was a Bayou on Card Sphere.
Right. Okay.
And so that was a pretty cool one too. But like the most exciting story that I have for duels was, again, traveling, but I was in Victoria, Canada, and I don't think you were on that trip.
No, I remember you guys found that you I know what you're about to tell.
So me and my brother and our cousin Jake we were walking around downtown, and I was like, oh, card store. Pop my head in there, and there was an unlimited Badlands beat up, but I was like, it was like 40 bucks, 40 or 60 bucks, and I was like, snap get, that's unlimited. It's rough, but I'm like, I'm never gonna buy an unlimited one. And it was just like so cool to have. And then my brother and cousin Jake were just like, that was a terrible buy. Why the fuck are you doing that? Like, I was like, no.
If they could see you
this
now.
Is exciting. You're not gonna kill my buzz. I am super happy.
I thought you were gonna tell the story of when you guys. This is also a trip that I didn't go on, but it was like, I thought it was like to Switzerland or something like that. And you guys were staying at a place and they had Magic cards in like the lodge. And there was a Taiga in there or something like that.
No, it was like 3 Badlands. It was a red-black deck. And so it was all revised cards, Italian. And so it was like all bad cards and then 3 Badlands in it. You're like, well, this is somebody's.
And then they disappeared, didn't they? Like,
then it was gone.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So I don't, maybe somebody left it there and they came and picked it up, or
Cousin
maybe somebody
Jake.
heard me talking about it and they snagged it. I don't know.
I'm accusing people.
But dual lands are definitely up there on
duels for me is like out of this list. Like this is the accomplishment one. I probably should have saved this for the last one.
You didn't want me to steal it, I get that.
Well, I was thinking it was similar to the Force of Will feel, so I was like, let's keep the same feel going. But this feels, because they just go in all the decks. You're putting them in everything but monocolored. These are ones you're going to use, and it's pieces. It's 10 of them. Yes, we're kind of cheating because we're doing one level for all 10 of them, but when you get all 10, that really is a sense of accomplishment. So, all right, what would be the next one you want to talk about for our Power 9? Power 9.
I'm gonna go with one that I think is talked about being bannable for sure, but like, let's go Dockside Extortionist.
Dockside. This one was not on our list before either.
Yeah. So this one is really good, right? It's
just a little good. I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of kind of infinite mana combos that you can do with this card, and I very much agree and understand why people hate this card, because it just swings the game in your direction so fast. Generally, I try and not play it in that regard, and if your play group is sick of it, I would suggest trying to adjust how you play Dockside so it's not so like fucking abused.
Yeah, because this is one of those cards that comes down, and if you have things set up or you're setting up to play this, you're trying to. Oh, there I went. I disappeared and I came back.
Bye-bye.
And I'm frozen. But this is one of those that you win the game a lot of times if you can set it up right. If you're playing it because you're behind, that does happen from time to time. It gets you back in it. But there's most of the time when this one is played is you're setting up to win the game or take out somebody or do some big things. And
right. And generally how I do play it is something in the realm of like, if I can get 5 or 6 off of it, I'm really happy. And that's, and generally I'll use some of it right there because it's more of like a color fixer along with ramp. And so, but the card is bonkers. It's 2 mana to get however many, if you're playing Mycosynth Lattice out there, like you just gain 30 treasure. Like if you have something that's going to blanket as much as you want, boom, it's a fucking good card.
Yeah.
It's probably the most, I don't know. I was going to say the most fair on here.
The most fair?
It might be. It's not. It's not. So, but I think, Dockside Extortion is on there. This is one that because we do kind of want to talk about like this version a little bit too, but like this is a card that I tried to avoid playing with until I shifted my mindset on it. And so I'm fairly certain that people don't get annoyed with me playing it.
I think people get annoyed with you playing just cards in general.
In general, yeah, right. It's not better than anything else that I'm playing. So I think I don't feel as bad playing this as I have in the past. And so because it is one of the best ramp cards out there, and I don't feel terribly bad about ramp. That's more about speed, and you can kind of control how the speed of a game is going, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
So
yeah,
that's if your play group is having problems with this one, I think this is one of the more adjustable ones for you.
Yep.
So, what you got?
All right, I'm gonna hit another one that we like to talk about and have a little joke on. But it's going to be Gaia's Cradle because so I'm getting all the lands out of the way, Lowry. So Gaia's Cradle, if you guys don't know the story behind this one, again,
Adam took advantage of me when we were children.
Yeah, I did.
No.
Don't worry, we're cousins. So the story behind this, oh, look at this. This is a good way to show this off. This card right here, which we actually have signed and stuff. Oh, it's going to take a second for the cameras to see mine. But Gaia's Cradle, a.k.a. Keldon Warlord. I traded my Keldon Warlord to Lowry when we were kids for his Gaia's Cradle. This is way before internets, Scryfall. I mean, it probably existed, but we didn't know about it. We weren't going to spend
Scryfall didn't internet hardly existed.
Yeah, well, I mean, the magazine, Scry. Sorry,
oh,
not Scry.
Scry existed. We used that.
But I don't think at that time we weren't using it, or were we? We might have, yeah, to determine
we did. We
trade.
looked it up. You're like, oh, that's the same thing. Like, feels like a setup. All right.
Needless to say, fast forward, and this is one of my better trades I've ever done. I don't.
Right.
But that aside, this card gets out, and it's normally an oh shit type of thing because people don't play land removal. You don't play a lot of non-basic land removal or just land destruction in general. So when this hits, it's tough to deal with. And so lately, because of how powerful it is, Chase said he traded $600 for his. Yeah, so that's about the same.
It's a fair trade.
I'm gonna sneeze here. Oh shit.
So I think also like it's such a swingy card that a lot of people don't see because it's expensive and rare and old. It's $1,000 card right now, right? It looks like $783 on TCG Player.
Yeah. So,
but it's a fucking if you have problems with Dockside, like this card's fucking crazy. Yeah. Gaia's Cradle is fucking crazy, and this is something that I try and avoid playing this one
even
as
though
much as I can.
You got your copy not that long ago, like what, a couple of years ago at this point.
Well, it was right at the beginning of
2020.
COVID.
Yeah.
That was the first one that I got when COVID was starting, and then I was like, you know what, I need to go for all of
the duels and get all those out of the way. Yeah. So I mean, it's a game changer, and to have lands that are game changers, like the duels aren't game changers. They make your deck run a lot smoother. Like your decks are just gonna function better. This is just a game changer.
Right. This is steroids for a commander deck.
The only time
it's fucking bonkers.
The only time it sucks is if either you get it opening hand and you don't have a creature to play, or you get a board wipe. But by that point, you probably have enough land that you can do other things. So it's just, it's kind of, it's brutal. But Growing Rights of Itlamok is it's a more fair one. And that is probably the one that I might start using more. It's not a land, but it does a similar thing if you can get it to flip. If you're in a creature deck, maybe make a little, some more hoops to jump through to get this big advantage. That's kind of the fun of Commander sometimes, is jumping through hoops to do fun things instead of just having a ridiculous fun thing to do. I'm not going to say I don't put this in decks anymore, because I did just recently put it in a deck, but that was because the deck had 40, 50 creatures in it, or 45 creatures. I'm like, well, yeah, it only makes sense to have it in here, so that's why.
Right. And the last time I probably played this was in my #Team Forest Walk deck.
Oh, God.
Last year when we had Magic Fest in Minneapolis, and that when we were in the middle of that game. Come on, I'm in the middle of the story here, and then I pull it and I'm going, hey, are you guys? And that's when I did maybe I should cycle this. Like, I don't need to play it right now. Like, can I just get rid of it, exile, and draw another card? And they're cool with that. And so I'm trying to think of who else. There were obviously two other people, but I think this is one of those cards where, like, it's a great catch-up card, but like if you are winning and you pull this, I think it's kind of a shit move. You know what I mean? It might be a closer, but it's a fucking wild card. And basically the only people that we know that own it is me and you. Everybody else does not have this in our group, and that's another reason why I don't like playing it.
I thought Cole got one, maybe, but yeah, I mean, there isn't that many people that have this card. Right. So, all right, so that is, I don't even know what number we're on. Let's see, you did one, I did two, 3, 4. All right, so
at 5.
Now we're going to the 5th one. What would you like to pick from our list?
I think let's go with the newest addition to it. And we're going to go with the One Ring.
Yeah, I like it. You went
4 mana comes into play, and you have protection from basically everything until your next turn. It's indestructible. You tap it, you put a counter on it, and then you draw a card for as many counters that are on it. And during the upkeep, you take damage for as many counters that are on it.
It's just,
the card is
just
fucking bonkers.
The thing is like, it has that part of you have protection from everything until your next turn. That always gets forgotten because the rest of the card is so good that you don't really care about that. When we see this hit, it's always have to be a reminder. You can't attack me because I have protection from everything. I mean, you can attack me, but nothing's going to happen and all that crap. But this is just, it goes in a lot of my decks, I'm not going to lie. And you just hear from a lot of people, they're seeing it a lot and they're hating it. I know RoboCop has said that almost every game that he's in, somebody's playing it, just hates the card. I know there's other people in the Discord that say the same thing. This one just, people are starting to get annoyed with it because of how good it is.
and it's, if you have an untapper for every turn, you've drawn 1, 3, 6, 10 cards by the time it's your turn, and then you take 4 life. Like, that, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, and with a Seedborn Muse or something like that. But this in itself, like, it's something that I do feel better using this one since it's new and like fresh and something that's different for me. I like it in it, like, instead of another card that we'll talk about later. But I think it's fun. It also has that like Post Malone effect of he paid millions of dollars for the one-of-one version of it.
It was the most expensive card for almost a year, and then Black Lotus jumped back in there. Indico Ultimate asked the question. He proxied all his cards we've talked about so far, all higher power decks. you dudes actually having those cards. How do you feel about proxies? Actually, so you must be new to how we do. I make proxies. I design them. We play with proxies. Basically, anything that's over $5, I end up starting to make proxies of them. We don't want, if you watch the video of Lowry spilling water all over his cards, that's kind of one reason why we do that as well. Is I have my expensive cards in a safe. I don't feel comfortable going to, having my cards sitting in a car if I'm going to somebody's house. And thousands of dollars, I have all the dual lands. Plus the other thing is it's made, since we've done proxies, I don't want to get into a proxy tangent, but I do like to give people an idea of what we do. The proxies make it so that you own the card. You shouldn't have to go buy 10 copies of Sensei's Top or 10 copies of every dual land so they can go in your decks. You really just need the one. You own it. If people throw a stink about it, you can say, well, I have these cards. You want to wait 15 minutes while I take them out of this deck and put them in that deck? Proxies are it's just the way you guys should be playing. I mean, I understand that some people don't like them, but it's good. If you can get your play group to dig it, I understand people will go to card shops, LGSs, and they aren't as happy with those necessarily, but I think it's becoming more and more accepted, especially since we have all these altars that are out there. I mean, secret layers, everything like that. We have 10 different arts for every single card. So I think they're becoming a lot more accepted at this point. So yeah.
And something that we've already kind of mentioned with something like Cradle and stuff like that. I think if you are in more casual pods, if you're worried about doing that, I still think you proxy most of these cards because they're expensive.
Yeah.
But I still would say be cautious with it. Make sure that with the One Ring, if you only have 3 decks, maybe you put in all 3, but understand when it's okay to have fun with new cards. Right. But also make sure that the pod, you're having fun and the pod is having fun as well.
That's the biggest point.
And so once it becomes a card where it's like you're putting it in there because it's good versus you're putting it in there because you want to try it and have fun with it. Like those are 2 different ideas when you're deck building, right?
Oh,
so
really quick, Wrench, I doubled up, adding to it. Yes. Basically, if we own the card, then you can proxy it. We don't play with cards that we don't own. We won't make proxies until we own the card. And then Chase also made a point. Plus, you can damage the cards from moving them from deck to deck. So that's another reason why. So proxies, we are all about. We have proxy episodes. I do proxy videos and all that stuff of cards. So yeah, proxies, they are the way to go. But it also makes it so you get it in your collection and stuff. So you have to own it and all that. That's just how our play group does it. Okay. Great card there. I don't know where I want to go next. Well, I might as well do this one since we're talking about artifacts. So I'm going to do one that I also don't use, but I know Renshaw uses this little guy.
That's a good point. I should say the One Ring I have been using more, but it's more of I want to try it and it has been fun.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
Yep. We'll figure out.
It ends up going.
This is one. Yeah.
We'll do the border breaking one, but Jeweled Lotus would be the next one. And Renshai, do you have a copy of this? Oh wait, you have 2 of them. 2
foil.
Yeah,
versions.
2 foil. He has the Breaking Border one and the OG from Commander Legends. He got the full art foil. Oh, he gets an good for you. He has to.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, do you know that he owns 2 of them? Jeweled Lotus is just this didn't come out the last time we did this Power 9 thing, so otherwise it probably would have been on the list then. I personally have not put it in a deck yet. I just haven't had a spot for it, but this is very much used in CEDH. I think it's fantastic in your higher casting cost commanders. It just really gets your commander to come out a lot quicker. I don't know if I would use it. I mean, I guess more of your higher casting costs. I was going to say would you use it in a 4-color commander? Well, yeah, I guess if the colorless cost is higher, you could use, one of the color and then the other 2 for that. But this 0-drop giving you 3 mana of any color to cast your commander it's ridiculous. It's just a really good card. And it's an accomplishment to get this. And it's a very expensive card. The cheapest version is $100 at this point. So this is a very much, do you put this in decks? Have you put this?
I've since it's been out. I mean, we're talking that it's been at 3-4 years at this point, right? Did you say end of 2020?
Yeah, end of 2020.
Was that when we were discussing it? Yeah. So, I've had it in Muldrotha, because that is a 6-mana one that I can actually bring it back. And then I had it in Oscar for a little bit right before I took it apart, that I could get Oscar out and then bring it back and create 2 copies of it and be able to kind of protect Oscar a little bit. But and then also, it's artifact themed and bringing stuff back themed. But other than that, I have not. But I tend to play cheaper commanders. So it has a shot to go into like Gonti when I build that either this week or next week. But because it's at 5, and that's because that's just like right there. I probably don't want Gonti out that quick. Like, I want to build a board state and then drop Gonti and gain the advantage. So it's that part of like how fast, like having Muldrotha out as fast as possible is sometimes good, sometimes bad, but it was great in there.
Yeah.
And so this is one I definitely like choose my spots with it. It's not going to be very good in my Riku deck. It's not going to be good in Feather. 3 mana, heavy pips. Like, I just, and again, it's something that I don't know how fun that would be.
I think that's the issue that I run into, is that it's like you're saying, the reason I don't play it, and I'm not saying that it's, and we kind of had this discussion on Discord I had with Renshai as well, is the reason I don't play this is because there's a problem with us getting things out too quickly and becoming the target immediately. And actually, that's kind of my game plan, is you don't want to be a target right away. And this is going to get you to be 3 against 1 very quickly if your commander's out and is doing its thing.
Like, too fast.
Yeah, so very similar to what you were saying, is I like to build up my board state. I like to get ramp into stuff. I like to have, I will say that too, is that this is impermanent. It's kind of like your Dark Ritual, where it's out and it's gone. For that, I have trouble with that. I like having permanent stuff that is out there. So I always have trouble with that, with cards that do that, like other Moxes or whatever, where you're sacrificing, or the Lotus Petal, where you sacrifice it and you only get 1 use. And then, unless you have a way to recur it, that's also why I don't play those as much. But the main thing is, I don't want to be a target by turn 3, 3 against 1.
Right. You let me become the target.
Exactly. That's my game plan. Just
I come out too fast, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
And
lucky.
My wife's not too happy about that. But again,
you got 2 kids out of it.
Agreed. But, it's super powerful. It's really, really good. It deserves to be on this list. But this is definitely one that I'm not using a whole ton.
And that doesn't mean it's our own reasons why we don't use it. It's not like that it's bad. It's just,
I think, and I missed. Oh yeah. Is it Indica? Something?
Indical Ultimate. You can call them Ultimate.
Indical Ultimate. Ultimate.
Indical,
but it's great in mono 3 or 4 drop commanders. For sure, mono-colored. It's going to be really, really good in there. I don't think I've played a mono-colored deck in a decade.
I do, but it still hasn't made it in.
I mean, Ilharg, Perforos, like those, it'd be great, right?
Braids, yeah. Well,
braids,
those would be actually really good.
Jesus,
you don't actually, this would be good for braids. I could throw it out there and then sacrifice it if I don't need it. Ooh, I might need to put this in there. It might actually find a home.
Great. So, but it's
one I might actually put it in, because we're talking about high CMC, is I might put it in my flip coin deck. God, why is my video just keep going?
It could definitely be in there for sure.
There are 5 drops. So, all right. Yeah. Okay. So you are next on the list for, how many we have left? We have 1, 2, 3 left. 3 left here.
I'm kind of saving one for you. I'm hoping that you pick it. So, I'm going to go with one that I've known the power of it for a very long time. Rhystic Study. Rhystic Study.
Yeah, you've played
this. It's 2 and a blue enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, they have to pay 1 or you draw a card.
This is
the
ridiculous.
Card is bonkers. There's no they have to pay 1. It'd be way different if you had to pay 1, but this card warps games. When it comes down, it is still like, I remember this was when Jake was still playing with us, cousin Jake was still playing with us, and I dropped this and Jake just starts playing spells and I'm like, you want to pay one? Nope.
No,
and I
draw.
drew 8 cards in 2 turns and one. I'm like, I'm going to win the game. He's like, I don't care. I don't care. And then I just fucking won the game. It just gave me so much gas.
Well, that's
and
whenever we play with Quinn, that's his quote is, I don't pay taxes. So he doesn't pay.
He's self-employed. But the card is, it absolutely should make you pay the taxes, and because it will. You don't think it's a game-winning card? It is.
Yes.
It absolutely is a game-winning card.
It's a 3-drop. If this was like a 5-drop, maybe that's a little bit more fair. But this being a 3-drop, this gets out so early. Like, this is like,
Right.
do I keep ramping, or do I play? Nope, I play Rhystic Study because I am going to draw 3 to 4 cards by the time it comes back to my turn.
If this is in your hand, the instant you can play it, you play it.
Yeah.
It's there is no question. There's nothing in your deck. You don't care about your commander. You get this in your hand and can play it, you play it.
Yeah. So,
and it's going to get everything else working.
Again, Lowry had this one much earlier than I did, and you don't realize how good it is until, well, they win a lot of games, or once you get it and you realize how much you're actually drawing off of it. This card, and when I got it, eventually, I shoved it in every deck that had blue. Now it's not getting in decks as much because I'm trying.
Agreed.
Both of us have kind of pulled back stuff. We're pulling back the power on certain things, and unless the deck is focused on draw, or I'm lacking draw in blue or whatever color I'm doing, then it pops in there. But if I have enough of other things that I'm getting draws off of the theme is the big thing. As you guys know, with how we build decks, a lot of our stuff is theme wise, and we kind of stick to that. Still powerful, but we try to find other ways to make the decks go.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I haven't put this in a lot of decks, but I totally get it that everybody has this in every blue deck that they want to put in, because it's
Right.
ridiculous.
And so, like an example, I think right now, I couldn't tell you how many decks I have it in, other than I have 18 decks right now. I know it's in my Convoke deck for sure, but how many draw Convoke cards do you think there are?
Right, there isn't that many there.
You know what I mean? There's like 2.
Yeah.
And so the thing is like, you're trying to GM as many Convoke cards in there as you can that are playable, and then you're going, there really isn't a lot of support in the, when we're talking about our blueprint, when it's talking ramp, draw, removal, and protection, and then everything else. It's just, when you don't have a lot, it fills holes. It's a great glue card. And that's kind of how I try and use it. And that you had already mentioned that. It's like, if you just need that extra help and you don't have enough slots, you know what I mean? Like, you're just
saying
love
dirty
your
stuff
deck. You're,
left and right, just not enough slots, filling holes.
does this feel like we're watching a football game and they're just like,
yeah,
look at that penetration? but that's kind of what it is. It's like, you have everything in your deck that you want, and you love the way that it looks. You like every pick that you have, but you're just running out of cards. It's you find one slot and you put it in there. All right, and that will
there
at
can
least
be a
help.
second one. You can put in. There can
How
be
many
2
slots do you need?
You
only have one Rhystic Study. You're just gonna like slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, or what?
Put them in a couple.
What are you doing? What are we doing here? 9 slots? That's weird. What are we at, a casino?
Oh, what's happening?
So, yeah, this was probably the first card that I had that I was like, this thing's crazy.
Yeah, and you don't.
And
from an outside perspective, I didn't realize the craziness until years later. I'm like, oh, Lowry's drawing cards. He's not killing me right now. He might have killed me later because he's drawing so many cards, but at the time it's like, no, go ahead. You can draw your card. Go ahead, draw your card. No, it's all good. Oh, how did I die? Oh, it's because I drew half my deck because you guys don't pay any taxes. That's fine.
Right.
Yeah. No. So this is good. This is a good card. Very good card. Again, used to play it a lot more than I do now, but it fits in. Like if you don't have this in your collection, you definitely should get this. And it's a very big accomplishment to get that. What I don't know. What do you think? You might have said this earlier. One of the best draw cards in the game.
I did not say that, but yeah. Is it the only? It's this and the One Ring are the only draw centric cards on this list.
But I'd say in the game. I mean, is this one of the better,
right?
The best draws?
If you're in a blue deck, you could probably choose between these two. If you got both of them, Jesus, what are you doing? You're I
guess a Nekasar deck would be kind of fun with this one. Yeah, I mean, you're well, no, Nekasar doesn't matter about you drawing. It's everybody else drawing, so that doesn't work. But anyways, okay,
it still works there.
Right, it does. But okay, so I'm trying to figure out which one you wanted me to talk about and which one you want to talk about.
I don't care about which one I want to talk about for these last two. But I want you to talk about.
I was gonna go Monocrypt. Is that the one?
You son of a bitch.
Oh, you wanted Cyclonic?
No, I want you to talk. Why wouldn't you? That was your baby.
Okay, fine. I'll talk
forever. If we're gonna talk shit about on Cradle, I get to talk shit about Rift, don't I?
All right. Why is it talking shit? Cyclonic Rift is our 8th. I don't like this version of that card. I want to get a better version.
Understandable.
Actually, I want this version. I don't use it because it's a tornado.
You don't use
it's a rift, and
don't use it.
I have not put this in a deck since we did the episode years ago on what we don't use on stuff and all that. I don't.
You haven't built a blue deck since then.
Are you kidding me? Edgin? I made Edgin. I made
a Dragon's Approach deck.
I made the rad counter deck. Let's see what else we got there. I'm looking over there. I got my mirror deck. I got Tom Bombadil. I got anybody else that's blue.
See, that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, and I made Will. I don't have him in there either.
Out of here.
I gotcha. But I do want this version of it. Anyway, so Cyclonic Rift.
But this is what I was looking for like most of this list. But fuck Cyclonic Rift. Totally agree.
Did somebody say, oh, Bill, you're the one that always posts on Twitter the cool little GIF one of the tornado spinning in the water. I like that one. Yeah, I only build mono red.
That's my point.
Right, Ted's right.
Thank you, Ted. There we go. But Cyclonic Rift, this is probably. This is yours.
Like
this
7
one's
decks.
Yours.
I named off 7 decks that I just built this year. That are all blue in them. This year. In the last 12 months, I built 5 decks that have blue in it. Anyways.
Can you talk about this thing?
Yes. Every deck I used to for blue. This was the card that, okay, people know what this card is, but I will read it. One colorless, 1 blue. Return target non-land permanent to owner's hand. Overload 7. Replace target with each, and it's all your opponent's stuff. So this would make it in decks when I felt like I was lacking in removal. And so this was like, hey, I always wanted to make sure I could cover any type of removal. Like if it was creatures, artifacts, enchantments, even land. So I would always have like a permanent removal, or something like that. So this was one that I would stick in. God, we're sticking things in things.
Right.
I'd stick in decks where I was like, I'm lacking some removal. Well, this is a perfect way to do it. And
that's the problem. It is the fucking perfect way to do it. It doesn't harm you at all.
Yeah.
Instant speed
to the point that Lowry
only affects all of the permanents of your opponents. All of them, other than the lands. All of them.
Lowry would see I had 7 lands sitting open, and he'd be like, "He has Rift. I'm fucking going for him."
And you always had it. Always had it.
Like, well, you got me right, beer. Cyclonic Rift. Bounce your shit, bitches.
Fucking terrible.
But since we had that episode a couple years ago about talking about kind of the high power stuff, I have
switched over to mono red.
You're such a bitch. And no, I did not go into I did do a line
Magda, Ilhart, Perforos, and I guess you had some like red X decks in there as well.
I mean, Blanca, you got Ansrag, which is one of my newer ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but anyways, this is just it's the best removal in the game. I mean, it just is. The only way you deal with it is,
I hate to say it, but it is
countering it. or copying it and doing it to the same person at the same time. So if you
fair. Fork it.
But yeah, I mean, there isn't much more to say with this. Is one of the most played cards in the game.
I think it's probably the most. It's that and Ristic Study are probably the most hated on this 9 out of these 9, in my opinion. Probably.
Yeah, I would agree.
The One Ring might be getting there, but I don't think it has enough time.
I haven't seen enough of people getting annoyed with it. Like normally, it's kind of that thing where you're drawing and you're hurting yourself is mostly what people see. But when you're starting to see in every deck, I can see people getting annoyed with that. Yeah, it's not like, Jackal Hobson opponent does Teferi's Protection. I did, what was it? It is,
Apocalypse.
Yes, Apocalypse and Teferi's Protection. That's fun.
Yeah, because it's exiled instead of destroyed. It's fucking awful. And hands, right?
Yep.
Hands go away?
Yeah. So
it's fucking brutal.
That's a fun one to play. Well, yeah. Okay, there isn't much more to say with Cyclonic. You don't put in any decks. I don't put in any decks at this point, but I mean, we see it a lot now. Now I see the annoyance of it because we play against people in our play group that have them in all the blue decks, and I'm like, but the thing is I do try to counteract it. You know, I did that when we were up at Guys Weekend a few weeks ago, where I went and I got the equipment to be able to go search for any spell, you know, that it was 4 or less, and I Teferi's Protection.
Sunforger?
Yeah. So that was one way I got around it. But yeah, it's brutal when it happens. If it isn't a winning the game, you're just being an asshole. And
right.
But it is the biggest, like,
use it as a game-winning card. Cool.
Yeah.
Using it as a I'm
delay
about to
the
die
game for
and
another hour.
Let's elongate this game. Yeah, it's terrible. Don't do that. Just hold on to it. You can do that. You have restraint. You have the power.
But it is you have the power. But it is one of the best. It is the best removal. So if you don't have it, and you know, we're just the ones that are a little grumpy about it, but not grumpy. Just we don't play it. So that's it. Okay, what's our number one? I already kind of spoiled it.
It's not number one. Our last one is going to be Mana Crypt.
Great
or Mana Crypt, or however I'm supposed to say it.
Mana
0
Crypt.
drop artifact ramp. You could tap it to get 2 colorless mana, and then at your upkeep, you flip a coin. If you lose the flip, you take 3 damage. The card is great ramp. There were a lot of really cheap ramp options that we could have went with, but we were trying to go for that, like the awe factor. Like when you get that, that's a fucking level up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes down, it doesn't necessarily, like, everybody's going, he's ramping. That's really good.
Yeah.
But nobody's going, he's going to win the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's more of just a level up at how good the card is.
And the thing is if you play it, you just go, well, I'm potentially doing 3 damage to myself, so it's not that good. That's what I always say. So it just kind of helps. No, but this is another one.
Okay.
This is another one of those that you had the original one from, right? You had this one.
God, that's a great card. Great Henge would have been awesome.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if it makes this list here.
Not necessarily the list here,
but God, that's a good one. That's a real good one to add. If you have something that you feel like should have made this list, put it in the comments, please. Because again, we had a list and a list and a list, and I don't think the Great Henge was on any of the lists.
I didn't have Great Henge.
Definitely deserved to be on a list.
Yep, it should have been like at least thought about here. But this one though was when they actually came out with this version, when they had the inventions when it hit, I was like, I have to get this version in foil.
So pretty.
Good for me.
Oh, it's so pretty. You're right. I'm not flicking the buttons tonight very well. Sorry.
So I went out and spent the money on that, and because I knew this was going to go in a lot of decks. Again, right away I did put it in a lot of decks. You know, I proxied it, put it in a bunch of decks. Now, it's again the similar feel to Gaia's Cradle, I guess, of how it fits in decks is, 1, obviously goes in a flip coin deck. 2, if it's going in a deck it'll go in a deck where I'm gaining a lot of life. So it gets in there because I'm gaining enough life that doesn't really matter to me as much. 3 is if I'm lacking on ramp. So that's another thing. If this is like, oh shit, I need something earlier on, I don't have enough rocks that can fit in here. I need, instead of just Arcane Signet and Soul Ring, maybe I'm in like blue or black or something like that, where I'm not getting as much ramp in here, then I'll start putting this in. But it doesn't go in every single deck anymore.
Right.
So
this is one of those cards that I think needs restraint. And I agree. And more of what I do is I try and look for decks where like I have a higher CMC curve and or really mana heavy. So like an example is like I had it in Hilda, which is like whenever you tap a creature, you got to pay 1 and then you can choose whatever's happening. That was a really mana intensive deck. Like to be able to tap down creatures along with having mana up to have enough to have like that effect happening. Otherwise you're just like, hey, I tap your board down and I'll pay 3 and get 3 options, but I just tap 7 creatures down. You're missing out on a lot of like stuff there. And or I have it in my like Planeswalker deck. Planeswalkers tend to be a little higher CMC when it comes to that. And I felt like it was fair to have it in there, but I don't have it in my Riku deck. I didn't even consider it there. Like it wasn't even worth like a thought in that one. So you could drop it in every deck and be happy, but it's one of those cards that I am more reserved on using, I think.
Especially because price tag wise, we're looking at $181 for the cheapest one, or 180 at
person.
Thanks,
person.
Indigo, thanks for subbing in. And by the way, since Indigo brought that up, make sure you guys are liking and subbing this, or liking this video if you can. If you haven't earned a sub at this point, please do so. That helps us out. But if there's stuff that we missed, why don't you give out the list of what we had last time, 4 years ago? At
That's
this
a good point.
Over 4 years ago, what did we have on our 6 part, and for the reserve list, and what do we have for our 9?
Let's go with the 9 first here. So we had Teferi's Protection that almost made our list today. Sylvan Library, which was probably replaced by the One Ring. Demonic Tutor, which also almost made it.
Yeah.
Cavernous Souls was on none of our lists this time.
Yeah, made it. It's changed a little bit.
Sensei's Divining Top, that
was very close.
Still,
we really want that.
I feel bad not having it on here. I absolutely think it should
babies.
be. I think it's the best card in the game. Was Duels, which is on this one. We had Wheel of Fortune, which absolutely could be there. Survival of the Fittest, which I do like, but I don't use a lot, and I don't think it would deserve to be on this list. Mox Diamond, which absolutely could deserve to be on this list. But like we said, we had a lot of rocks to choose from, and we went with Mana Crypt.
It's just going to be a rock
Jewel
heavy
Lotus.
list. Yeah.
Right. You have Grim Monolith, which would be on there. And then Gaia's Cradle, which is on there.
Yeah.
So I don't think we were too far off back then, but I do think we had a couple, like, we had 15 cards to talk about as well. That made it a lot easier. Than to have 9.
Right.
I like both the lists. Top, in my opinion, would be in my Power 9.
Yes.
If I was doing
we were to do it,
list.
I mean, if we were to do our personal list, Cyclonic Rift would come off of mine. Force of Will would come off of mine. Probably Jeweled Lotus, because I don't play with it. And then, adding in Sensei's Top, Teferi's Protection. I don't know what my other one would be. Maybe Smothering Tithe, maybe. Or the Great Henge, maybe. Probably Great Henge.
Great Henge could be there. That's one that I've been trying to not play as much.
It's so good.
Or have a reason for it to be there.
It's so good.
I think that's the big thing that you want when it comes to just staples in general. Have a reason.
Yeah.
Not just it's good unless you have to. Like, again, if it's filling that slot, wink. That's a place that I would want to be putting it. Like, if I'm not drawing enough, Ristic Study makes a ton of sense. Or Sylvan Library, or the One Ring. If you need to draw more, that makes sense. If you're drawing enough, it's something that I cut. And I had Sylvan Library and Ristic Study in my Riku deck, and then I worked them out. I'm purposely trying to work them out. Can I replace something in there to make the deck better,
or
not as, but
not
more
as,
on theme.
Right.
Try and not use them.
Don't lean on the staples as much. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Okay. All right. So yeah, again, like Larry mentioned, if there's anything that you guys feel that should make the list, like that Great Henge was mentioned, please leave that in the comments or make a comment right now. Now we are going to move on to basically our tags. So I'm going to just bring up our little site here. So I do want to make, I made the announcement originally, but I guess we should go to this. Not welcome to the Meat Force, because that's not right. I do want to say, I got to give some congratulations for this month. I haven't done it for a couple months. I forgot to look this all up. But we have some new Garuk Dong inductees. So that is anybody that has been a patron and is over $100 in donations on Patreon. And you get a play mat. You get the, you can see our background kind of right there, or the background on our site here. This is kind of the play mat that you're going to get. But we have Rick Race, James, a.k.a. Beer Doctor, Drew Huntley,
nice,
and Buddy Zach, because I don't know how to say Zach's last name, but it's Zach number 2 introduced us to Zach. Judge
I don't
Zach
know how to say his name. I think it's a silent K.
Or something. Netchtel, it's something like that. Netchtel. Can you hit the
Sorry.
button?
Hold on. Yeah, you're right.
She can't even read.
Thank you. And then we also have some golden Garuk Dong level people over the last couple months here. So that's if you hit $500 or more in lifetime donations. And AJ has made the list. Rick Peterson.
Hold on.
I don't want relationship.
There you go.
I
AJ.
just want bang, bang, bang.
I don't want to know your name. I just want bang, bang, bang.
So AJ makes the list. We have Rick Peterson makes the list. Marcus, a.k.a. Guy, and John Hartness. So those all have reached golden Garuk Dong level stuff. We will do some, I got to do an updated shout out thing on the intro stuff. So that'll be coming here. So to get those levels, you can become a patron by donating $1 or more. That gets you in to the Discord. It's on patreon.com. That, like I mentioned earlier, we do have some new changes that are going to be taking place. So how it's going to work.
What is it?
So we have the dollar people, and the dollar people, we're going to draw names every month, and we're going to give away a foil proxy. We're going to get, let's show you.
And
a little foil proxy.
And they're already in the Discord.
Yep.
And that's how if you want to be in the Discord, you join the Patreon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ted, you're really close. You're gonna, I think next month you reach golden Garuk Dong, by the way. Okay, so we're gonna be doing drawings each month for current proxies and all that stuff. So there's a lot of people in the $1, so you're gonna have a lot of names. Not as big of a chance to be able to get your name drawn. But the $5 level, we're going to give away either metal tokens that are the metal tokens we have on our store. Actually, I should just show that since we're on it. It is these little guys. So they're double-sided tokens where one side either has a dragon. We have the Fable the Mirror Breaker. Let me shrink that up a little bit. So you have the dragon, you have Fable the Mirror Breaker, we have the treasure token, we have the zombie girl. There'll be more to come, and then also commander holders. So the $5, we're going to draw one name there. Oh, I forgot the proxies. Actually, we're drawing 2 names. The metal ones, we're drawing 1. Then when we get to the $10 level, we're going to draw one pack we're giving away for $10. We're drawing 1 name from anybody from the $10 level. And that, like you mentioned, it doesn't matter. You could become a patron right now, and you're entered in. If we are doing the drawing that day or the next day, if you have already become a patron, we're going to do this live, you'll be entered in. So we're going to do 1 pack for $10 level, 2 packs for $15 level, and 3 packs. There'll be 3 different drawings. So it's not just one person winning 3 packs. There's 3 different packs coming in, 3 for the $20 or more. So it is incentivizing. The higher you are in the levels, the better chance you're going to win a pack and potentially just get your membership free at this point if you get your name drawn. So just saying. So that's what we're adding in here. We're kind of good. We haven't done a giveaway for a while. We did our $1,000 giveaway back when we reached 1,000 subscribers. And so we just were like, all right, we just need to start doing some more giveaways. So that's what we're going to add in there. So yeah, anyways, that is one way to support us, is become patrons. You also get proxies if you want. That's still on the table too. So if you're $5 or higher, you can get proxies. But you can also support us by donating live on the show. We haven't figured out. We want to do something with this Malort stuff because that last one was difficult. We just don't know what we want to do with this yet. So if you donate, it's still going to that. We just haven't figured out what drink or how we're going to handle that. So
we haven't talked about this, but would you be okay going back to Malort shots for a little bit while I'm working through beer?
We could
just
do that
go back to regular stuff.
That was the reason why we
I'm
stopped
drinking more. That was a big reason why we kind of stopped and went to like a specific day of drinking, because I wasn't drinking as much. But since I have a shit ton of beer that I want to try, like it's new stuff and I want to try it, like
I would be down.
This is when I'll do it.
On air production meeting. I think that's
right. We're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
so for the time being, if you want to buy us shots, we will take shots of Malort until I start running out of beer.
Or gout starts really flaring up, and then you're...
yeah, well, I'm doing all right.
There we go. Good job.
Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what tomorrow is. I had a lot of beef this last couple days.
So yeah, that is another way to support us, is by donating, by also making us take terrible, terrible shots. And the other way to support us is to jump on the store. You can check out the store here. You can get the playmat, t-shirts. We're both wearing different t-shirts, the tokens, and also the mugs that we are drinking out of. Actually, you probably don't have yours on. I think you were just drinking the beer.
I mean, this one has the sweetest picture.
Oh yeah. So these are Yeti mugs that are up there as well. So buying stuff there not only gets you swag and everything, but it also supports us. And then the last way to support us is just by watching us on YouTube. Watch our content, subscribe to the channel, like our stuff. We do have a serial 2 people that are down, and maybe it's 1 person that has 2 accounts, but it's almost every video. It's like thumbs down. So it really does help if you guys give us that thumbs up, because we can counteract that thumbs downer, the serial thumbs downer. So those are the way to support us. You can also follow us in a bunch of different places.
Is that still happening?
Yeah, it is.
Like, they just hate us.
Yeah,
that's definitely somebody that's fucking
it's
with us. All right.
There's some ideas of who it might be, but
Alex.
Yeah. But yeah, so then we also are on TikTok. We are also on Instagram, and you can also, or we're on X kind of. We just don't really interact or do anything there. Really interact with us on YouTube. That's the best way. Or actually Discord is the number 1 way. And then you can email us at commandersmiths@gmail.com. And I think that brings us to our game. Is there anything
I do want to
else?
bring up
go ahead.
SmithCon.
Oh yes,
get your stuff together. Yeah, just pay attention. Get on the Discord real quick. Go check out the information. We don't gotta talk about it much here, but if you're a patron, go check out the SmithCon section on the Discord.
SmithCon is coming in June and mid-June.
Chris had a countdown on the 1st, so it was 51 days, 55, 50-ish days away at this point.
Yeah. So, and that's all only patrons and like you can bring guests and stuff like that. So if you want to come to SmithCon, play Magic for basically 1 full day, get some other, we'll have Whirly Ball or something we're going to be doing. And then we also play Magic for more than just the 1 day. So it's a lot of fun. This is the 3rd year doing it. Highly suggest if you just want to join just to do that, you got to be a patron. So just make sure you're at least $1 in there. So, okay, and then lastly, I do want to bring up our polls. So we did last week. We talked about the underrated equipment, and I did throw up 2 of each of our picks to see the ones I thought were the strongest. And it looks like Silver Shroud Costume took down everything pretty good. 41%.
I mean, it's the new hotness.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there in price, and it is pretty good.
I think they're wrong about Glimmer Lens. That should get more votes.
Yeah, Glimmer Lens only got 7%.
Drawing cards? Come on.
And what is it? Kasari Gamma got 19, and then Staff of Titania.
She can't even read.
All right. Yeah, so that got 32% of the vote. So there is our vote in there.
That'll be good to see you, Bill.
Okay, so we got all that out of the way. Now it's time for the fun and games. So let me get over to our Stump the Smith Savant here. Switch things up here. And here we go. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant. All right, if you guys don't know how this game works, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Lowry's going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no will hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He would get up to 5 wrong guesses before he is considered stumped. He gets up to 3 clues. If he can get everything about the card but can't get what the name is, he will get, or get everything about the card but can't get what the name is, he'll get the initials. If he still has a clue left over, he will get a bonus clue that should help give it away. The card has to be in at least 10,000 EDH rec decks. Let's see. Oh, currently we are on, let's see, Lowry is 88 and 29, so we are around 29, week number 2. When we hit every 3 weeks after the 3rd week, we will add a card to the ante. Currently we are on the proxy round, so the foil proxy of Shadowy Backstreet. Backstreet's back. All right. And
all right.
Yeah. So this is the foil proxy that we're giving away here. Today, this week's stumper is Ted. No other. What am I going to say? None other than Ted Steiner. And I hope he's still awake. I think he is. Maybe, possibly. He has to work early in the morning. He's East Coast, but we'll see. And I think that's about it. Oh, yeah. You can send your suggestions, because we're going to draw names. You can do it to our email at commandersmiths@gmail.com, or if you're part of the Discord, yep, Ted is on. You can shoot me a direct message. All right, I have eliminated chat, so chat can play along, see if you can beat Lowry to the punch. And here, we go. Whichever side wins, I'm sure the banquet will be superb. Whichever side wins, I'm sure the banquet will be superb. Oh, Ted's folding laundry. That is not the card, Ted. Ted knows the card.
Very slowly folding laundry. Okay, whichever side wins, I'm sure the banquet will be superb. Now, what instantly comes into my head is like Midnight Hunt, Crimson Vow, like vampires versus werewolves. There's like a banquet for the wedding. That's gut instinct. Otherwise, I don't really have a clue. I mean, obviously two sides. There are 2 sides. I'm sure, and then food, banquet. I mean, it makes sense for vampires to be talking about banquets. What else could that be? Like maybe Innistrad with all like the food, maybe food tokens somewhere in there. Like that's not something a hobbit would say fighting, the bad guy. But Saruman.
They both sound the same.
Right. They're the same person in my mind. They're both.
Wrong.
Wrong,
Aggressive.
wrong.
And so like Innistrad had food tokens. I don't know if that's involved at all. I'm gonna say, is this on Innistrad in any way, shape, or form?
Wrong.
Fuck. I mean, because you're talking, we're going across like the 7 sets, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yes. No. This is not Innistrad. Yeah. No. It is. I don't know why I said I'm pretty sure. It is not Innistrad.
Okay, it's not Innistrad.
No.
I'll take a first clue, please.
All right. The art features a woman giving. What did I write? Giving a real Padme from Star Wars vibe while holding a gold cup, which is giving a Holy Grail type vibe as well. Both vibes. It's kind of painting a picture.
Going off of vibes. So a woman is holding
a woman with Padme, you know what I'm talking about from Star Wars?
Elaborate dressings
vibe.
Elaborate
while
hair
holding
with
a
makeup.
gold cup. Kind of like the Holy Grail vibe as well. Does that ring any bells?
No. Not a bit.
Your beer juice, your thinking juice is not helping you right now.
Not right now.
Oh, I'm actually there we go.
Let's figure out, is this a permanent card?
Hello, boobies.
Is this a creature card?
Hello, boobies.
Can I hear a second clue?
Which one? We'll do this one. This card is in 79,000 EDH rec decks. It was first printed in War of the Spark and is most seen in Edgar Markov decks. This card is in 79,000 EDH rec decks. First printed in War of the Spark and most seen in Edgar Markov decks.
So I was kind of half right in like the vampire aspect. Edgar Markov, clearly a vampire. We know it's a creature.
Renshai has the initials.
Attaboy. God, you're an impressive specimen. That's what I would say, Renshai. Okay, so we believe it's War of the Spark, vampire likely. I mean, so it's either black, white, or red. We kind of know that, so it doesn't matter what you say at this point.
Why doesn't it matter what I say?
Oh. CMC is black and a white.
Hello, boobies.
It is a vampire.
Hello, boobies.
Do I get to know if there's another?
There isn't another.
There isn't. Okay.
Renshai said, Lowry is literally the first and only person to call me an impressive specimen.
Well, I hope you feel good then.
Because of that, are you going to change your mind, Renshai, and come to SmithCon? I think you have to now.
I don't think he cares about what I think about him.
No one cares.
Okay. I have a clue on it. We know it's it's celebrant, something celebrant. Power is 2.
Power is 2?
Power is 2.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
What does the card do? Do you remember what the card does?
It has some type of life siphoning thing. So like, it's not super clear at this point, but it's like whenever you gain a life, an opponent loses a life, or something like that. Or whenever a creature comes into play or dies, all opponents lose a life. Like that's the main part, is like all opponents lose a life. I just don't recall why. Is it a 1/2? That doesn't sound right. Can I hear the third clue, please?
All right. With death comes life gain and life loss. With death comes life gain and life loss.
In the name is the word celebrant there.
Hello, boobies.
Okay.
If you can get power and toughness.
Let's go with this. The second part of it is you gain a life, your opponents lose a life.
Hello, boobies.
With death comes life gain and life loss.
How many wrong do I have? 1?
2. Oh, I see what Bill did there. He was giving away a little bit of a clue there. I'm glad I didn't read it out loud, because it would have given it. I didn't realize that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Let me go through the clues again really quick.
Is the toughness 2?
Hello, boobies.
Is the power 1?
Hello, boobies.
It's a 1-2.
You just need to give me the first part of the text, and then you get the initials. With death comes life gain and life loss.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide on a couple of different variations on what it is. It's a creature dying, but the question ends up being, is it non-token versus any creature, and is it your creature versus any creature?
Well, there's one
and
thing.
So I'm fairly certain
You want me to go through?
Yeah. You can go through it all.
Okay, the art features a woman giving a real Padme from Star Wars vibe, while also holding a gold cup that gives you a Holy Grail type vibe. With death comes life gain and life loss. This card is in 79,000 EDH rec decks, first printed in War of the Spark, and most seen in Edgar Markov decks. And for those that are listening, it's whichever side wins. I'm sure the banquet will be superb. And Lowry knows everything but the text. He knows that there's a life gain, you gain a life, and opponents lose a life. He just doesn't know how that comes about. I will give you this because I missed one thing when writing the clue. It is 3 different modes of death. And that I would have wrote that if I caught one thing, because I thought it was only one thing, and I will explain later, but it is 3 different modes of death. With 3 different modes of death comes life gain and life loss. There we go.
I'm going to admit that does not clear or clarify anything.
Yeah. So you might just have to get what the card is without getting the initials. And you got Celebrant at this point. You just don't know what the other...
Right. In those words in my mind right now, it's either like cruel or sadistic. Sadistic, celebrant feels too big. Cruel, celebrant makes sense. I'm just trying to solidify it in my head right now. Okay, I'm going to be super vague and just make sure and just say vaguely whenever a creature dies, that's when the trigger happens.
Hello, boobies.
That's one of the modes.
All right. So it's one of the modes. I don't know.
One of the triggers, I should say, not modes.
Um,
One of the 3 things that needs to happen for that to happen.
So, number 1, I can't read anything off of your emotions or looks because my screen is frozen.
Okay, good. Then I can start giving away stuff. I'm just kidding.
And you normally don't. I'm a terrible human reader. You're all fucking.
I like back in the day when you'd ask it and be like,
But yeah, just frozen screen right now. I am fairly certain it has to deal with your graveyard. So that is my question. It has specifically your graveyard, or the owner's graveyard.
like, your stuff is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hello, boobies.
Yeah, it can't be theirs. Has to be your graveyard. And then, so right now we're basically stating we know that it is a creature. Might be any, might be non-token. And it has to be your creatures into your graveyard. And so let's say I've basically done this enough times where I don't trust my first instinct and I want to go with the second one, and I always go with the first. It's always wrong. But it still gives me enough information to move forward. How many do I have wrong?
2.
Still 2. Okay, good. Let's go with just a creature that you control.
Well, you already said a creature.
No. I'm specifically stating a creature, not a non-token creature.
Gotcha.
It is just any creature that hits my graveyard.
Hello, boobies.
Is there something else?
Yep. There's 2 more things. I mean, that's basically what I was implying before when you said when a creature dies. Three things to make this trigger. Life gain and life loss.
I already said that.
No. You only got
I
the
didn't?
one.
I super assumed it then. I didn't say it?
What?
I didn't talk about that part. I said the bottom part is
No. There's 3 things to make that bottom part happen, the gaining the life and losing the life. You got whenever your creature dies. Any creature, okay? Now we're missing 2 parts. Well, and I guess I'll give you this. The any creature includes itself. If that's what you meant by any creature. Because that would be the second one that triggers it. Because it is specifically saying this or another creature.
Oh.
And there's one more thing.
Right. It's like
because
a specific blood artist for yourself. That's how I was thinking of it.
Yeah. Because sometimes those don't count themselves, you know?
Yeah, the Zulaport Cutthroat doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't count itself.
Right.
So but by you saying any creature or your creature, that you triggered that one. There is one more thing. There's actually no, I can't give more hints. Otherwise Ted's gonna kill me.
You know what? Is it Cruel Celebrant?
Wrong. Hello, boobies.
I got you. No, it's right. It is Cruel Celebrant. It's Planeswalker. Planeswalker, you die.
I don't know if I would have ever
I didn't even when I
part.
wrote this out. That's what I was saying, that I didn't catch it until now going through it. I was like, oh shit, Planeswalker. But then War of the Spark, it makes sense because you're adding. That's when it came out. So we had all the Planeswalkers. So it was adding the Planeswalker in there. So it's whenever Cruel Celebrant or another creature or a Planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
It's definitely a little bit different than I pictured in my head, but it is the card that I was thinking, and I'm glad that I had it. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So
well, and you said Cruel earlier, and I was like, oh, he has it. Well, he just needs to make one of the guesses there. He has enough there.
And once you were like, I don't think I would have ever guessed Planeswalker. And once I was just like, I have no idea. Let's just take a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in the dark. I had it down to 2.
Yeah.
And I just didn't think Sadistic was taking up it. Whatever name it wasn't taking that much space in whatever memory I had of it.
How
if
where
that makes sense.
Where the title of the what it is.
Right. It Sadistic Celebrant would have been much further over towards the CMC.
You are a
it's
savant.
not there.
Your brain is, and like Ted said, the master. Ted, I really want you to send us this signed and stuff so it can make the wall behind Lowry.
Absolutely.
I play with this card, so I like your idea, Lowry, of playing with cards that patrons or people that have not or haven't stumped you.
This would go in your taste deck, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, it's been in many decks because I do a lot of stupid shenanigans like that. So, all right. So I think that'll do it here. Really quick, I forgot to mention a couple announcements. Tomorrow in the afternoon, if you wanted to watch, I'm going to open 2 things is about $1,000 worth of Card Kingdom credit that I'm going to be opening.
Hold on.
Oh,
Thank
good
you.
for you.
So I'll be
This
open-
brings a smile to your face.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to open them now, but I'm going to do it on camera. So I'll be tomorrow after lunch. Are you doing your... Oh, and I froze there. We're just having all these little weird technical things tonight.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you doing your decks this week at all? Are you working on a spotlight?
It might end up being a little bit later, maybe like this weekend, but
Sometime this week.
because of the flood, Noah's, I guess we can call it Riku's flood. Everything was thrown off a bit.
Can you rename the deck that?
I called it the wet deck.
Oh yeah, I guess
So-
that works even. You might get a lot of weird clicks on that one. Double clicks and triple clicks.
Everybody's
double
looking to
click in
see
the
if
mouth.
Earthbond is in there and shit. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then the last announcement, and
Fire
kind of we have
elemental.
to kind of talk about this more, but I think we talked to Text about this. But the secret layer will be dropping on Monday. We are going to try to do a pretty much after it goes live, within, I don't know, half hour or so after it goes live, we're going to go live with the secret layer breakdown. So the breakpoint video. So instead of it being the podcast, we're going to go live and break that down really quick. So if you guys are listening later,
are we basically saying whenever we know all of the information, we're doing it? ASAP. As soon as possible.
The problem is that I would say yes, we could, but I don't know what the bonuses are going to be, because they are going to do something with the bundles and stuff. So then it's like, do we do it? Because we have 4 of them already that we are knowing about, and we don't know how many more we're going to get. I'm guessing probably 2 or 3 more is what I would guess. But then we don't know how the bundle breakdown is. So I was thinking once it goes live, maybe we do the video, unless we do like I don't know. This could be something we talk about. So if you're part of the Discord, or the biggest thing is subscribe to YouTube, because then you'll get notifications if we're going sooner than on Monday, if we do it over the weekend or something like that, if we know everything. So that is a big thing there. And this one looks to be very unique and interesting. So kind of excited for that. So I think that's it. That should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
I love boobs, I'm talking tatas. I love boobs, I'm bonkers for honkers. I love boobs, thanks for the memories. I love boobs.
Too early. I got to figure out when to time that in. That's just...
I don't know where to put my hand. Hey, guys, the best way to support the Commander Smiths is make sure you slap that like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel. Also, check out our online store, CommanderSmiths.com, where we have metal tokens, mugs, t-shirts, playmats, and more.